The Twin Students of the Sun by White Eyes. Chapter 5. Please die.
So, this is the Everfree Forest, huh? You know, for an accursed land of doom, it's not that bad.
Noted Sunset, looking around. Sure, the canopy was so thick that even the dark night was rendered to near pitch black, save for the slivers of light that illuminated the forest in patches. And sure, the plants were covered in thorns, viney, pointing branches, and grew in twisted patterns. But all in all, the last half hour wasn't really any worse than walking in any other forest.
Don't say stuff like that! Seriously, never say stuff like that!
Masquerade shouted as he trotted along. The canopy had been so thick that even Rainbow Dash, flying fanatic, had agreed that the Pegasi needed to walk to avoid being separated from the group.
In every story I've ever acted or read in, saying stuff like that is like giving fate a gold leaf invitation to screw with you!
Twilight rolled her eyes.
This isn't a story, Masquerade, so I think we're fine. Now, come on. We have to get through this evil magical forest to find this ancient evil castle in order to get the magical artifacts to defeat Nightmare Moon and save the princess.
Twilight got 5 steps before she fully processed what she said. Not a word, Sunset.
I have no idea what you mean, protagonist number 2. Or should that be 1? I'm not sure. Which one of us got introduced first in the story again?
Sunset stopped as he seriously started to ponder this.
Is it just ego that I put myself first? I mean, from a narrative perspective, I might not be that important. For all I know, I was the late introduced comic relief sidekick. I listed myself as the most important pony out of sheer hubris. I'm an out-of-control ego monster! Somebody stop me!
Masquerade slapped Sunset at that point.
Get a hold of yourself. If any pony is going to be overdramatic, it's going to be me. I'm properly trained for it. You amateurs might hurt yourself.
Applejack took the opportunity to slide over next to Twilight for a more private conversation. I'm a bit worried about Sunlayer. When she was down on the farm yesterday, she had a panic attack like that. Says he was a bad pony and such. What's going on with that? Twilight sighed.
Well, the thing you have to understand is that, based on my observations, Sunset Shimmer is a little crazy.
Seeing Applejack's incredulous expression, she elaborated.
Not like lock me up in a pad cell crazy, mind you. I think she's got an inferiority complex. She seems to panic a lot in social situations and starts blaming herself whenever things goes wrong. I think something happened where she doesn't think she's as good as other ponies. But I don't know what. I've tried to help by praising her skills whenever she learns a new spell or the like to help boost her self-esteem. But it doesn't seem to work.
Hey, guys! I found a clearing up ahead! Rainbow Dash shouted, rushing forward, and then falling down with a shout.
Rainbow!
Sunset shouted, fussing over as fast as she could. The others followed right behind, only to be met by a quickly rising RD.
Oops! Cliff! My bad, guys,
Dash said, coming in for a landing. Seeing the looks of shock on the other ponies' faces, except for Masquerade, she blinked a few times in confusion.
What? Sorry, just forgot you had wings for a second. But this is perfect! Sunset said, leaning onto an edge. We can totally scan to hit whole forest from up here and plot our route. This is a huge break for us!
It was then that Murphy decided to attack in the form of a cloud of dark mist. It seeped into the cliff face, causing it to break and crumble, sending 4 of the ponies as the 2 Pegasi instinctively took to the air.
Oh my gosh! Cast them!
Rainbow shouted, dive-bombing and snatching swing drops out of the mid-air, while Masquerade swooped in and caught Twilight. The other 2, Sunset and AJ, were lucky and managed to sliding up to the cloud's side, slowing down their pace and giving the flyers more time to come back and rescue them. Applejack managed to bite down onto her roof, holding her momentum and letting herself safe, but she caught sight of something that sent a chill down her spine. Sunset hadn't slowed down enough, and her rear hose had gone over the edge of a sheer drop, and the rest of her was slowly falling as she scrambled for purchase.
Hold on, I'm coming!
AJ shouted, releasing the root and controlling her slide, so she came to a halt just in time to lock her forelegs with Sunset's own, before the unicorn plunged over to her doom.
Don't worry, I got you. Everything's gonna be fine.
Applejack did her best to give a reassuring smile as she fought to ignore her very own slide forward.
No, it won't! You're sliding! Just let me go or you'll fall too!
Sunset pleaded. No happening, Sugar Cube. You'll just need to hold on there until Dash and Mask come on back up and from taking the others down. She then slid forward another inch and dug her hooves all into her. Hey, I heard some unicorns can teleport all over the place. Any chance you could do that, huh? Sunset closed her eyes and concentrated, her horn glowing, then quickly fading out. Sorry, normally I could, but I haven't had any sleep since last night. I'm too tired, and I'm so useless right now. You ain't useless. You could just use a nap, AJ said with a grin. Anyway, back to Plan A. Wait for the Pegasus to come up back up. No! Plan A is letting go so you don't die too. I'm not worth you dying too, Sunset argued, trying to wriggle free of Applejack's grip. But stopping as soon as he realized it was just pulling AJ's for as well. Seriously, let go! No, was AJ's response, face hardening in determination. Now listen here. I don't rightly know what happened to you before. I don't know why you think you're worth less than a wooden plate, and I don't care. I met you, I ate with you, I even showed you my family. You were nice, the kids liked you, you're out here risking your life to save Equestria. When we both got in danger, your main concern is for my safety. Y'all are a good pony. You're lying to yourself if you think otherwise. Now just hang on, they're almost back. Sunset stared at this sword. You know, just because I'm about to die doesn't mean you have to say nice things about me. Alright, I ain't doing that. I'm no liar, and I ain't gonna start now. I can say what I mean, and I'll mean it. You're now a bad pony. It's about time you two got here. Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to find clear ground to place you guys on after a rock slide? And that's without helping to help Mask here land the egghead safely, Rainbow Dash said, grabbing Sunset by her barrel on one side. Masquerade rolled her own gems as he grabbed Sunset from the other side. Well, sorry if we're not all athletes aiming to join the Wonderbolts like you. Not every pony can fight full out while carrying another pony on their own, you know. I mean, I slowed her down enough to make it a survivable landing, even if it hasn't slowed her down enough for you to come help. Nodding to AJ, the Earth Pony let go as the two Pegasi formed a textbook cumulus carrot their passenger down towards the ground. Ugh! No offense, but even with Dash here, I think you weigh more than Twilight, she teased. How in that is any way not offensive? Sunset snarked right back, though relieved knowing her voice robbed it of any venom. I'll have you know she works out by walking all over the place with Spike on her back. You'd be better in shape too if you had to carry a lazy dragon everywhere. After coming in for a landing, Sunset was quickly hugged by a relieved Sweaty Drops and Twilight. By the time she managed to extract herself, Applejack had also been ferried to the ground. Hey, listen. Thanks for saving me back there, and for the stuff you said. It was nice. AZ nodded. And you'll remember what I said. I ain't no liar, and I ain't never said nothing that weren't true. She then flashed a big smile. Also, I was up there, and I managed to spot what I think might be the castle we're looking for. Sunset was ecstatic. Yes! We're back on track, girls. It's smooth sailing from here on out. Mask proceeded to face off. Seriously, just stop tempting fate. Twilight snorted. Oh, please. What could possibly go wrong now? I don't know, Sunset admitted, stepping out from behind the tree, her eyes closed and a smile on her face, coming face to face with a group of stunned ponies. Could be anything, I guess. RD, AJ, Sweetie, Twy kept on looking to their Sunset and back to their suddenly appearing double. Sunset was no less confused. What the bucking tartar is in this? What is what? Asked the thoroughly confused Masquerade. Beats me. But hey, you girls think you could do me a favor? The double asked, opening her eyes, deep reptilian, shining with dark green energy that seemed to leak out. Her form flared with a black rolling aura that floated a dagger from up behind her back and into the original Sunset's chest. Please die! Chapter 5. Most metrosexual obstacle in the history of ever. Twilight snorted. Oh, please. What could possibly go wrong now? I don't know, Celestia admitted, stepping out from behind a tree in all her glory. Could be anything, I guess. Twilight was stunned silly, looking at the others and back to her mentor over and over, relief finding to her being. Now that Celestia was here, everything would be all right. Sunset, however, seemed upset at the return of her teacher. What the bucking tartarus is this? What is what? Asked a thoroughly confused Masquerade. Beats me. But hey, do you girls think you could do me a favor? Celestia asked,
Twilight smiled wide. She loved helping Celestia and would do anything she asked. Please die. And then Twilight was on fire. Twilight snorted. Oh, please. What could possibly go wrong now? I don't know. A writhing mass of shadow chuckled, seeping out from behind a tree on oily tendrils, glowing eyes serving on his whole face. Could be really anything, I guess. Applejack looked around in panic. She knew what this was. The pony of shadows. According to her Granny Smith, the thing was a servant of Nightmare Moon that haunted the Everfree since its master was banished. She had helped Somepony had an idea of how to deal with it. Sub's hosts were dazzled when Sunset shouted, "What the bucky Tartarus is this?" What is what? Asked a thoroughly confused Masquerade. Beats me. But hey, could you girls do me a favor? The pony shouts asked, tentacles lashing out, lifting Applejack off the ground, and choking her slowly. Please die. Please die. And with that, Spitfire, leader of Dash's lifelong heroes, the Wonderbolts, snapped forward with hidden wing blades and cut Rainbow Dash's throat open. Dash collapsed, struggling to catch her breath with her ruined throat. Please die. Sweetie looked down at the dagger in her heart, pleased there by her true love who had just betrayed her. She wasn't sure which hurt worse as she collapsed. Still, the pain would be brief. Twilight snorted. Oh, please. What could possibly go wrong now? Masquerade was about to respond when suddenly the others started spazzing out. Looking around confused as Sunset sighed, "What the bucky Tartarus is this?" What is what? Asked a thoroughly confused Masquerade, looking around in desperation to figure out what every pony else was looking at. But she saw nothing. Then, all of her friends collapsed. Sweetie and Sunset were clutching their chests. Sunset with a look of absolute terror pasted on her face, while Sweetie cried her eyes out. Applejack and Rainbow Dash both seemed to be struggling to breathe. AJ was pawing her throat as if trying to escape something else's grasp, while RD seemed to be holding a damaged throat together so it would be used for breathing. Twilight was writhing in silent agony. What the buck? Girls, what's wrong? Masquerade asked, looking them over and trying to find a problem. Seriously, I can't see anything. Hey, can you hear me? Twilight! Rainbow Dash! Sunset! Any pony? She tried shaking Sunset, but got no response. Then she noted that every pony's eyes were glowing a sickly green color. She read through enough stories and worked with enough special effects over the years to know what that meant. Oh, Buck! Dark magic! Oh, Buck! 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 Masquerade paced back and forth, trying desperately to solve this problem. Her friends were trapped in some sort of illusion. Well, that normally wouldn't be too bad. Dark magic tended to make things much more lethal when it came to illusions. Okay, think. If this were a story, how would you break the spell? Splash with cold water? There isn't hanging around. Defeat the spellcaster? That's probably Nightmare Moon. There's no way I could beat her on my own. A kiss of true love? You know they were my type. I don't have any magical artifact. And that's what we're questing for. What are the odds of a mysterious stranger coming in and providing a solution and cryptic advice? No pony ever goes this deep! No, Pony, this is true. But there are others that can help you. A mysterious cloaked figure then walked into the clearing, eyes glowing yellow beneath the hood. A hoof reached into a concealed pouch, pulling out some green, sparkling powder that was quickly blown over the sunfering ponies. Black lightning battled the green mist for a couple of seconds, before dissipating into nothingness. Masquerade was glittering like mad as her friends slowly got up. They were disoriented, confused, and shaken, but they were alive. Yes! Alicorn X Machina for the win! Thank you conveniently showing up at the last minute with the solution, stranger. A stranger I need not be. After all, surely you all know of me. The mysterious figure lowered her hood, revealing what Masquerade thought was an odd-looking pony. The coat and mane were colored in alternating black and white stripes. In addition, she had a slightly broader muzzle, smaller eyes and ears. Also, now that she looked closer, Masquerade realized that the stranger's hooves were slightly oversized, or at least looked that way on skinnier legs. Her examination was cut short as her friends reacted to the stranger's identity, though in markedly different ways. A zebra? Twilight and Sunset's jaws dropped in almost perfect sync, amazed at its sight if one of the savannah's dwellers so far north, especially one that wasn't a visiting diplomat or scholar. Zebras did not like the cold, and their embassy high in the mountains of Canterlot stood empty most of the time as a result. Any zebras that did visit tended to do so briefly,
It came with a limited pool of those willing to travel so far, and put up with so much cold. The Sunset and Twilight were honestly amazed to meet any zebra they didn't already know. However, while the Canterlot ponies were reacting with a mixture of wonder and amazement, the other town ponies had grouped up defensively and assumed a frightened posture. Sakura!
Wait, that's Sakura?
Masquerade asked,
pointing at the zebra in question. That's supposed to be the mysterious evil enchantress? That one that lives deep in the Everfree?
taking a look around, she proceeds to face Hoof.
Okay, yeah, we're in the right location. But last I checked, evil spellcasters don't rescue ponies in danger. There's no way that this is Sakura!
I am afraid quite mistaken you be. I am Sakura, sage of the Everfree. Sakura proceeded to bow to the group in a formal greeting. I am surprised you didn't recognize me before, from my failed trips to find an open store. Whenever I go to town, there is a most strange coincidence. For I always arrive when the town seems to be without residents.
Oh no, guys, please tell me this small provincial town did not lock down everything the minute a foreigner walked into town.
Sunset looked around, but none of the locals' reactions were doing anything to dispel her concerns.
Really? That's like one of the worst small town stereotypes, and you did it to a zebra stage! I mean, really?
Twilight decided to step in before things got any more awkward.
Anyway, I wish to express my thanks, Sakura. I pledge myself to repay your good deeds and may you find gentle waters in your journeys,
she said, bowing slightly, finally remembering how to complete the formalities for receiving a great favor in zebra culture. And if Sakura actually called on that favor, well, it would be worth it in exchange for the whole saving their lives deal. Your thanks I will gladly receive, for from dangers giving you reprieve. Dark magic and the fixed plane, hopefully such things away. But the night is long and the forest deep. Before I continue, your ponies should sleep. Sakura held up a hoof to ward off any protest. If you do not wish to fully rest, at least taking an hour break would be best. It would be a terrible plight if you were to get too tired this eternal night.
Wait a minute! How do you know night's eternal?
Death flew into Sakura's face, pressing her hoof to Sakura's nose while glaring at her. Because the sun is 3 hours late, and the moon is as bare as a licked clean plate. It does not a genius to see the fulfillment of the prophecy. Sakura proceeded to put her hood up and walk away into deeper woods. Heed my warnings and soon seek rest, or the students shall fail this final test.
Wait, test? Prophecy? Sakura, wait!
Sunset tried to run after her, but couldn't find her in the dark of the woods.
Sakura? Sakura! Darn it!
She stomped back to the clearing, fuming.
Well, that's just great. Good job, Rainbow Dash. You attacked a local guy, and on top of that, I think that's the Prophet Z!
Dash looked rather shocked.
What? No way! Z is totally cool and helps ponies out. Sakura's evil. They cannot be the same pony. And what makes Sakura so evil?
Twilight asked. I was only curious if there was anything to the rumor.
Well, for one thing, she lives here.
Applejack pointed out. For another, she's always creeping around town, coming in once a month and sneaking around, pawing the ground, something fierce like she's ready to charge. And I ain't never seen a pony that looked as weird as her.
She's not a pony. She's a zebra!
Masquerade, Sunset, and Twilight all said at the same time. The two unicorns looked at the Pegasus with wild surprise.
What? I've read stories with them, you know. So anyway, zebra, not pony. So looks are off the table.
Masquerade proceeded to pace a bit.
Okay, so she lives in the Everfree. That is weird. But that doesn't mean it's evil. And she says she comes to town so often because she's looking to shop. Oh my gosh, we are the ignorant townspoonies that run the gentle creature out of town because of their looks!
She realized, face away into realization.
Wait, she lives in the Everfree? It snows here, doesn't it?
Twilight asked, surprised at the news that Zebra lived this far north.
Heck yeah, it does, and not on a schedule either. With the wild weather, sometimes it snows in the fall or spring in the Everfree.
Rainbow Dash answered, glad for any distraction from the ingestion that somebody as awesome as her could be wrong about Sakura. Sunset blinked in confusion.
Snow in the spring and never mind, that's not the issue. How is she okay? Zebras can't generally handle the cold at all, let alone some snow. How does she live out here?
Sweetlet's quite upset about this.
Oh my, If she can't handle the cold well, what if she got really sick and came to town for help? Oh, I saw Sandra that one of those boys that closed up my shop whenever she came to town, and all because of a silly rumor. She saved our lives, and here I am treating her like some sort of monster, just because of how she looks.
Yeah, well, she's still pretty freaky.
Like, what's up with all that rhyming?
AJ retaliated, a bit too stubborn to admit fault.
I think she's a shaman, so it's probably a geas.
Twilight proceeded to clear her throat.
A geas in shamanism is, however, her speech was cut off as Sunset stuck her hoof in Twilight's mouth. No time for a lecture. I know Sakura said we should rest, but I think we're taking too long as it is. She said proceeded down the trail in the direction Absek had pointed out earlier towards the abandoned castle, the others following quickly behind. Nothing is going to stop us now! You guys just have to keep chasing us, don't you? Yes, Mask. Apparently I do, Sunset replied, staring off at the torrential raging river before them. Okay, this doesn't look normal, so I assume that something is making the water go crazy. Hey, any chance you Pegasus can fly us across? No, can't do. If our grip slips for a second, you guys are going to get washed away. And that's not even counting being hit by the waves. The seas are too thick and low for us to do any high flying. This river is a serious no-fly zone. We'll need to find another way across. Wait a minute, girls. Do you hear crying? Sweetie asked, struggling to listen over the crashing waves. I think somebody's in trouble. Wait! There really shouldn't be any pony in this deep, Twilight called, but the cream-colored mare already ran off. Ugh! Come on, girls! Maybe if we're lucky, there'll be a bridge that way at least. Falling sleeve drops, and now hearing the crying themselves, they eventually came to a bend, revealing a giant purple river serpent, moaning and wailing and thrashing about. Clearly, he was the source of the turbulent river. Hey! Could you calm down for a minute? We need to cross the river! Sunset sighed, trying for a sixth conclusion. Ghost! The serpent asked in a surprisingly cultured tone. Looking closer to his mate was quite styled, but his claws were covering his face. No! I can't be seen right now! I'm hideous! Go away! And with that, he turned away sharply, causing a massive wave to wash over the ponies. Rainbow Dash fluttered her wings a little. Luckily, the feather coatings of Pegasi prevented them from getting wet, a natural advantage for the cloud-downing species. She also knew that earth ponies were hardy enough that a little cold water wouldn't bother them. The real problem was the unicorns. With the longest hair, thinnest bodies, and weakest constitutions among the tribes, being shocked with freezing cold water with nowhere nearby to dry off was a serious health risk. Hey! Watch it, pal! You can really hurt some pony with that! How about I teach you a lesson with messing with ponies? She would have flown into his face then, hit it a few times. The somepony hadn't pinned her tail to the ground. Turning around, her protest died unsaid, as it was noticed it wasn't AJ keeping her pinned down. It was Sweetie. Now, Dash, honey, be nice. He's clearly rather upset, and yelling isn't going to make anything better. Walking over to the serpent, she called out to him, Hello! Yes, my name is Sweetdrops. Are you all right? You sound like you've been hurt. Do you need my help? No, I'm not hurt. Thank you for asking. The serpent responded, I'm sorry if I worried you like that. It's just that I am having the worst night ever. I was getting ready for a date when all of a sudden this dark cloud of mercy flies by, and... At this point, the creature removed its claws, revealing its face. It cut off my glorious moustache! The creature wailing intensified. Oh, my bloody banging TARDIS burning in the sun. That's what you're crying about? Facial hair! Sunset exploding, Visora sneezing. Now, Sunset, yelling isn't going to help anything, Sunset pointed out. Turning to the serpent, she smiled. Now then, while I'm sure it is a great mustache, I'm afraid I really don't get what the problem is. Maybe you could tell me all about it, Mr. River Servant? Well, all right. First of all, my name is Stephen Magnan, and my problem is my glorious hair is ruined, and I have a date coming on today. She's always loved my mustache, and now half of it is gone. I don't want to keep half of it if it doesn't look ridiculous, but I can't save the other half either. It's my best feature, and without it, I don't look at all as fabulous. Well, That's a little silly.
Sweetie nodded. Steven seemed his glares. He elaborated.
What I mean is, I'm sure you look fine even without a mustache. And you have great qualities about you. Well, just talking to you, I can tell you're a gentle, regal, and very sensitive man. And if you want my opinion, any woman shallow enough that the look of your mustache determines whether or not you date her is too shallow for you. Real relationships are built on deeper bonds than that. So here's what I suggest you do. Shave off that other half. Go on your date and tell her what happened. If she doesn't care, you've got a wonderful thing going on and you don't have to worry. If she does care, then she's shallow and nowhere near good enough for you. A gentleman like yourself could do so much better. What do you say?
What do I say? Steven roared, raising a razor-sharp claw high before swinging it down. The other half of his mustache fell to the ground. I say, Stephen minded and stop feeling sorry for himself. Thank you, dear sweetie. That was just the pep talk I needed. Oh dear, I got you and your friends wet when I was a teaching earlier, didn't I? Taking a deep breath, Stephen proceeded to blow on the assembled ponies, grinding them out almost instantly. Though the unicorn's long hair frizzed immediately, resulting in them looking like puffballs. But a couple of shakes and one king TK on their parts fixed that problem slightly quickly. Oh, I am so sorry for causing you so much trouble earlier. That was just juvenile of me, wasn't it? You said earlier you wanted to cross the river, right? Having said that, he proceeded to extend his serpentine body from up above the wire, making a bridge for the ponies to cross. Once on the other side, Applejack turned to Slee. Well, Mr. Apps, I'll have to say, you surely know how to handle things back there. I honestly was expecting for we had to do it Dance's way.
Sweet just smiled. Well, after the whole thing with Sakura, I got to thinking. It's wrong to judge someone just as bad because they're not a pony. Everyone deserves fair treatment. With enough kindness, patience, and understanding, you can overcome almost any obstacle.
Yeah, Sunset muttered, too low for any of the ponies to hear. Like the most metro obstacle in the history of ever. I heard that! Stephen retorted, causing Sunset to look up and flush shame. I think you can learn a thing or two from your friend, Warlock. Silence hit like a brick wall, as every pony stood still like they had been turned to stone. After a few seconds, Twilight turned to regard the serpent.
I'm sorry. What was that you said?
I was just telling your Warlock friend to try to be nicer, Stephen explained. You did though, he's a Warlock, right? You guys can sense the dark magic, right?
That's ridiculous. I've known Sunset for years. There's no way she's a warlock. Right, Sunset?
Turning around, Twilight realized that the pony in question was gone, fled while the others were frozen in confusion and shock.
Sunset?
No pony said anything. There was nothing to say. Well, I got to voice Stephen Magnet again. I feel good about my life. I really, really do.